So good morning, guys. Welcome to this episode of Creating Happy Relationships. This is episode number 11. If you're new to me, welcome. I'm Burtcher, and I help codependents rediscover their well-being and happiness. I'm excited to have you here. And I help them accomplish that after narcissistic abuse, after unavailable relationships, by helping them come to know, love, and live who they are. So, if you were watching this episode a moment ago, we all realized that my audio wasn't working. The system had broken itself, so I went in and fixed the thing. This tends to happen on reboots, so lots of fun there. Exciting to have you back here. If you're new to me here on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I've got to get this shared out to the community before we get started here in today's topic, so I'm going to share that out right now. The community is where you can find guidance and support in your world in moving beyond codependency, back into your self-sovereignty, back into understanding your own power and knowing, loving, and living who you are. The link is above on Facebook and below on YouTube, so you can join us there. It's where you're going to find tools for guidance, support, and healing in your world. So I'm going to get that shared out right now, and then we'll get to today's topic. Come here, thingy. Let's go right to the groupie. There we go. All right, so this should be working better now. Hallelujah. So let me know how it's working below. Okay. Yay. Hey, Crystal, it's nice to see you here. So episode number 11, how independence is essential to interdependence. So a lot of times in codependency, I get a pushback. And that pushback is in the form of, we need other people. We're an interdependent species, right? And it's not bad to need other people and things like that. And we're not supposed to be independent, you know. You're correct technically, but generally what's going on when I receive these kinds of pushbacks, this kind of feedback, I'm going to center myself a little bit here, is you're actually reacting to, or this is a reaction to the belief that independence means isolation, and that you're interpreting needing someone through the lens of codependency. See, it's both from codependency. It's not actually from a healthy point of view. So let's dive into what healthy independence actually looks like, because healthy independence is something I call self-sovereignty. Self-sovereignty is the function of being completely embodied in your value, in your voice, in your vision. It's about being connected to who you are, to what you value, to what, to your voice, to your boundaries, to knowing what works for you, what doesn't work for you, being able to discern yourself emotionally from other people, to being able to discern yourself physically from other people, and to know your yard, your territory, and then ultimately to care for and nurture your awareness for your innate value. So one of the biggest aspects of self-sovereignty is the ownership of your own worth and value. Because in codependency, we seek that through other people. We seek it through their approval. We judge it based on their rejection. So it's called external orientation. I need someone else to define me, so that I can, to define my value, define my purpose, define my meaning, and define my direction. Who am I? Well, in healthy independence or self-sovereignty, we are in charge of that. And technically what we're doing is we're nurturing our awareness of what I call innate value, because innate value is a principle I teach that says I have value because I exist, and my job is to connect to that value and then live from that value. We don't actually create our value. We don't create, we don't add to or take away from it. Nothing does. It's already there. Our job is to discover it, tune to it, and follow it. So that's the first aspect of self-sovereignty, is ownership of innate value. The second one is self-regulation. As adults, we need to be able to regulate our emotions, regulate our nervous system, self-soothe ourselves, self-comfort, and care for ourselves. It's an essential aspect of being an adult because it allows us to stay properly connected with others rather than becoming dependent on them for these kinds of things, which puts us in a very vulnerable position where we can be manipulated. Because in codependency, being externally oriented, we are seeking the other person to make us feel better. And we do that by trying to regulate their feelings for them, by trying to fix them, by trying to change them, by trying to get them to respond to us in a way that we feel safer with, rather than turning inward and regulating whatever is there. This is largely driven by our attachment style. So if you're highly anxious, or you have like AP, anxiously preoccupied, you're going to seek other people to make you feel safe in the relationship, rather than actually taking responsibility or ownership for it and going, this is my anxiety, I need to work it through. And I need to look at the relationship itself and see if there are things going on in it that are legitimately a concern. Because sometimes we're anxious in the relationship because the relationship's unstable and unreliable. Sometimes we're anxious in the relationship because we haven't resolved our past trauma and experience in connection and don't know how to build secure attachment. This is why it's absolutely essential that we learn how to regulate our emotions, our attachment, to self-soothe and to meet our own needs. That allows us to be self-contained so that we can build safe, reliable connections in which we can ask for reassurance in, for which we can ask care and nurture in, but we aren't reliant on them for it. We're able to rely on ourselves for it. Which brings us to the next component of self-reliance. And this healthy independence is the ability to know what our needs are and what our wants are and get them met. And that means I can meet some of my needs myself. Like if I have a need of attention, I can give it to myself. If I have a need for reassurance, I can give it to myself. There's 10 core needs I work with. If I need safety, that is first and foremost my priority to meet for me, not for someone else. I mean, if someone is not safe for me, I need to leave and go to a place where they're safe. Doesn't mean they're wrong. It doesn't mean I have to make them wrong. It means I need to respect, I don't feel safe here. I need to make myself safe. We don't rely on other people to make us feel safe. We rely on ourselves for that because that's within our yard. It's an essential attribute of our own maturity. Further, this allows us to know what our boundaries are. To be independent, healthy independence or self-sovereignty requires us to know what our limits are, what our capacities are, what we want and how we want it, what we need and how we need it. These all define our boundaries. Our self-awareness of what's working for us and what isn't is essential to our self-awareness, to our healthiness, to our sovereignty. In codependency, we're letting everyone else define the boundary. Everybody else is defining what we tolerate. We're like, well, they're giving me this, so I must tolerate it. Not healthy. Not healthy at all. So we got to know and be in tune with our live, organic boundaries because they're a product of our self-care. They're a product of how we respect and nurture our value, our needs and wants, and how we self-soothe and self-care for ourselves. Hi, Crystal. Nice to see you. Self-regulation is cornerstone to building healthy relationships. Absolutely. And Lauren, screenshot for later reference and send to 5 friends dealing with that. There we go. Thank you for that. So ultimately, when we know our boundaries, we're able to self-soothe, self-regulate. We know what our wants and needs are and how they work. We're able to keep our value, keep our identity and our sense of self. We're able to ask for what we want and need. That way we build consensual relationships in our lives where you're building connection based on a reliability in the connection, meaning the other person's reliable. They show up with the 8 relationship bare minimums, which is boundary respect. They take accountability. They're reliable in taking all accountability. They're reliable in boundary respect. They respect our privacy, our own sovereignty. Boundaries, they don't gossip about us, they don't share things that are private, and they don't intrude into our privacy. They have integrity, they keep their word, and when they don't, they take accountability and they correct it, and they're very reliable in that. They have a large amount of acceptance and understanding of us. They understand where we come from, they accept it, they don't try to change us, they don't try to make us into something they think we should be. They receive us just as we are. They have positive, warm regard for us. They come at us with this sense of respect and assumption that we are doing our best and we don't mean harm to them, especially if we do something wrong. They're willing to show up and care for us where we're at and the way we're at. So very loving, very kind, very receptive that way. And then they have empathy. They care about the impact they have on you. They care about how you're feeling, what you're going through. They're able to relate to you emotionally in a safe, mature, contained way. They're not in there trying to fix things. They're not trying to enable things. They're not trying to change you. They're listening. They're receiving. They're holding space with you. They're allowing you to solve your problems and face the challenges you do in a way that works for you. That's the magic of the 8 relationship bare minimums. So if we are building connection with people that operate that way, just because that's how they show up, then we have a safe person we can ask for our needs and wants with, that we can lean on for when we are a little tapped out on our own capability of self-soothe and self-regulate and self-nurture. They're there as a contribution to us. They are not the resource for these things. We're the resource. They contribute to us and to those wants and needs. This allows us to keep ourselves contained in the relationship and build secure, reliable interdependence with this other individual. And this is why independence is absolutely essential to interdependence, because we have to be self-contained. If we're not, we are going to violate their boundaries. We're going to move into their yard and make them responsible for things that they are not and never will be responsible for, including your sense of value, your sense of emotional regulation, your sense of safety, the fulfillment of your needs and wants, the realization of who you are and your purposes in your life. Relationships don't exist to meet all of these things 100%. Relationships exist to contribute to these things and to create experience and joy and adventure and discovery. Really, fundamentally, relationships contribute companionship, support, intimacy, and play to your life. That's the goal. But they contribute it. They are not the exclusive source of those things. We have to be willing and able, and we have to have practice in living the aspect of, am I a companion to myself? Am I sharing intimacy with myself? Am I supporting me? And am I bringing play into my own world? That's self-reliance. That's being able to go, I know what I like. I can go out and play. I can ask for what I want. I can ask for what I need. I'm no longer enmeshed with the other person. Instead, I'm connected to them. I understand their sovereignty. I respect it. They understand mine and respect it. We build consent through asking. We have safe, healthy relationships that way that are truly and deeply nourishing and fulfilling. That's the point. That's the goal there. This is why independence is absolutely essential to our ability to have interdependence. You can't have interdependence if the individuals involved are not self-contained and don't understand their own sovereignty. Not going to happen, because they're going to end up blending. One will end up encroaching on the other, trying to smother or control them, or the other one will start running from them, things like that. This is where we get into anxious avoidant attachment traps. This is where we lose our sense of self in relationships, or the other person does, and we feel like we're being made responsible for needs and wants that aren't ours to fulfill. It's always theirs to fulfill. This is where we find our ability to be an individual in the relationship while also sharing a mutual experience that we call relationship, or the we. I get to be me, and we get to be we. So we're able to keep ourselves and have joy there. So let's see. Lauren says organic boundaries. Boom. Yes, organic. They arise in us automatically. They're part of our present experience with the situation. Some of these will be absolute boundaries. Some of them will be temporary ones. But yeah, because we're attuned to our own capacities, our needs and wants, and whether or not we want to give this, we have the capacity to do it, or whether or not this adds to our well-being and happiness, we're able to discern what really matters to us there and make the appropriate choices for ourselves. So, my friends, healthy independence is really about self-sovereignty. It's being self-contained and then building secure, reliable connection with others so that we have interdependence with each other. This is how we need each other. Because from a codependent point of view, needing someone is, I need you to make me feel better. I need you to fill this emptiness. I need you to give me a sense of value, purpose, or meaning. I need you to help me feel safe. That's not appropriate needing. That's enmeshment. That's because we haven't matured into who we are. Healthy interdependent needing is, I need companionship, intimacy, support, and play. And we need each other. That's why you're watching this video. That's why I make these trainings. I need you, you need me, as part of companionship, intimacy, support, and play. But I don't give up my sovereignty in who I am in order to get something from you. I respect you, and if there's something I want or would like or need from you, I'll ask, and then you'll contribute or you won't, based on your own judgment there. And that's the magic. That's the cool part, because we really honestly get to connect, get to see each other for who we are, to have relationships fundamentally built on love and an understanding of ourselves, rather than trying to shape each other and control each other. So that's today's episode, my friends. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the courage to love yourself, to see yourself, to do this work, because this is no easy thing that we do together, my friends. So go safely, go gently with yourselves. And if you're looking, if you're seeking, if you're ready to really know, love, and live who you are, get this solid sense of sovereignty anchored in you, I invite you to join the Know Yourself strategy. We start in just about 5.5 weeks. The enrollment link is above under paid courses, below, above on Facebook, below on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And thank you guys for the opportunity to share what I do and to offer you these opportunities to join me in these live classes to shape your life, because it means a lot to me to be able to share my work and to have the resources to continue to share it. So you make that happen. I appreciate you. Thank you for being there with me in this journey. Now remember that you're worth knowing, loving, and keeping. Go out there, be safe, explore your own sovereignty, explore your own independence, and let it guide and teach you your own well-being and happiness. And I'll see you guys in our next training video. Bye-bye, guys.